Welcome back to Lost Odyssey. So yeah, let's continue exploring
the sewers.
Well,
yes. My name is Jova Hexion, and I am here today interviewing RPG professors Pedro Duarte and Tio Skivin to find out just the nitty-gritty on what is wrong about this particular
but first,
compared to others.
Gongora, wake up! There you go.
Gongora,
stop steering the soul!
I get this.
Yummy! Grape jelly mustard!
I love red vapor.
See, this is what Jeff Keighley was telling us about the anti-vaping.
Okay.
You know, when Ronald Reagan made a war on drugs, were these the drugs he was talking about?
All right, to explain, because they actually did mention it. Basically, this is a ritual. Yeah. I forgot that he explains it. Okay.
Is he snorting? Is he snorting
blood.
Vaporized blood?
Yes, it's a thing that makes non-royals become royals,
I mean,
basically.
on paper, that's not too bad of an idea to showcase it, but I'm sure there was a better way to, showcase that he assumes in his body than this.
I'm curious, does the royal blood have special powers in it, or is it strictly just a ritual thing?
Ritual for right. As you can see, as you saw, Gongora is already powerful enough on his own.
Dude, in that case, they literally could have just injected it into him and just said, there, now you have the blood of whatever in it.
So yeah, he is now the official successor to the royal house.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay.
Yeah, there you go. Ash shot! Thank you for the ash shot of Gongora.
You intended this all along.
The ambitions of mortal men know no bounds. Problem is,
although
Gongora is immortal, and his ambitions reach even beyond that.
Oh boy.
I have been a fool.
So Gongora is essentially everyone's worst nightmare, an immortal politician.
Well, remember, I forgot her name. One of our party members also was a monarch on her own.
The queen, yeah.
Yeah. It's just, keep in mind, Gongora kind of sort of has another motivation, but we haven't seen it yet.
He looks like the Megazord wearing that.
What the heck is this?
You'll see.
These are all the people who tried to object to my rule.
Yeah, people who tried to rebel against him.
But hey, who's that? What?
There you go. We found Seth.
Oh
Seth's son, and yes, you'll notice that he's actually gotten older than his mom for obvious reasons.
Also, he has more limbs than I expected, given what happened in the past.
Probably prosthetic.
I figure.
Meanwhile, in Gohtza.
Wow, there are actually survivors of Gohtza. I'm impressed.
Remember, the fleet was spared partially.
The king left this force here in this tunnel to mitigate just such a situation.
There's also this, okay.
Of course, someone blew up the entrance and exits to the tunnel.
We will take this opportunity to mount an all-out attack.
Sir, is it wise to attack a city that can literally just throw an ice beam at us?
They have nothing else to lose.
And meanwhile, all the ones at the far back, sir, we can't hear you.
It's okay, Waves. I'm pretty sure the echo is actually pretty good in this.
I guess that is a point. All that survived were the armies, which in a kingdom's case could be their worst nightmare, since typically the idea is that armies are supposed to be the ones who lay their lives down, not the innocents.
CG.
Speaking of which, what does Ming's kingdom think about this, I wonder?
Well, if If he's actually in control, yeah, things are not gonna be pretty.
We'll get back to
Fire the Death Star.
We'll get back to Ayashi and see, as well as have Ming's dream sequence where we see.
Drill!
Yeah.
I thought it was the Death Star.
Actually, it reminds me a lot more of the drill that the machines are using in Reloaded and Revolutions.
They're a bit more efficient there because they actually use laser, while in this it's actually more mechanical.
So, Gongora, what's the next evil thing you got on the agenda?
Clearly wants to rehabilitate these
I
poor
will
people.
absorb the souls of these traitors.
I mean,
First chucking water on them.
I mean, he probably would if he could.
I think you're not getting right how you're supposed to waterboard people.
Is that
Is that
oil?
his piss?
More like
He pissed in the
oil.
bucket and he's gonna pour it on them.
Hold on.
I make this sacrifice.
Yep, it's oil.
Oh dear.
He's gonna burn all of them. There you go, Dwebs. He's not gonna take their soul, but he's gonna burn them alive!
Yeah, let's just again, Seth is not exactly gonna be happy about it.
Well, obviously.
Remember, the goats are not attacking, so I guess
yeah.
that's why they're getting with their mole.
What's going on?
Well, talk about good timing.
Bummer, who was just about to burn someone.
I mean, I could just burn them right now, but
To be fair, without people really watching and noticing. Oh, you recognize that one? Say.
I'll burn you first.
All right, and now we're actually about to get well, not about, unfortunately. I wish we could jump straight to the reunion with Seth because it's funny, but we still have a dungeon to do beforehand.
Oh, I think I'm starting to see what's going to make this particular sewer dungeon annoying compared to others. Let me guess, the drills are going to impede your progress, aren't they?
No, but remember, Joe, our plan is to take the sewers, which is the easier path.
Especially now because it's an all-out war.
Well, that's what I was saying, though. I assume that, since the sewers are underground, the drills will be impeding progress, and that'll make them more of a drag.
Alley-oop.
Yep.
Actually, yeah, you'd think we'd be done with the dungeon since now things are about to,
Escalate.
yeah.
Don't just stand there. Come on.
In fact, even less reason for us to go to the sewers. Let's just climb up that thing and do the zip line like the others.
Let's go.
But it turns out either Seth or the other guy she's with are afraid of heights.
Totem.
Totem would be the kind of guy that's afraid of heights, but no.
Actually, no, they're literally ziplining up. How could we have anything more visceral left to
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, no, we get the reunion before the dungeon. Yeah, like I so wish. I always. You see, Jova. This particular sewer dungeon really is one of those where I genuinely actively try my best to repress its existence. I just don't. I don't really like the sewer dungeon in this game.
It kind of makes more sense that the second part is used for doing the escape from the city.
Oh yeah, no, I understand its purpose in the story. I just wish the dungeon itself was more fun.
No, I get it. I was actually thinking about. Oh, there you go. Now you're caught in the middle.
But yeah, okay, now I think I get it. The sewers will be us escaping, essentially.
Basically, yeah.
Totem, the enemy's the other way. Jeez. There you go.
Alright.
I mean, on the one hand, this is cool, showing what they can render, an all-out battle happening around you.
Totem.
And yeah, they're too busy attacking each other to care entirely about you.
And yeah, since Totem is significantly underleveled, because we only got him just now, and not to mention he's mortal, which means he's weaker than Seth, we're going to do exactly what the story is doing. We're going to have Seth carry him the whole way, carry these battles, basically.
I'll admit, I do wish that they, didn't make the non-immortal characters feel like the loading gameplay. Like, I get it, they can't be as strong, but surely it would be nice to at least still give them their time to shine gameplay-wise.
Oh, we do. We'll get that, actually, specifically in the final boss.
All of you?
But no, I can't. They have their uses. It's not that they're useless or anything. It's just that, you know, it's always preferable to play with all 4 immortals on the party at all times because they're just that more powerful. You know.
Like you said, Jova, it's the different tier type of character, you know, stats. It's kind of like in one of the Tales of games where you mentioned, Tales of Destiny. It has basically also something similar to that, where half of your party members are equipped with these artifacts called the Swordians. So they essentially are better weapons just because they level up on their own, meaning they're more powerful by default compared to the other half that doesn't have them.
All right.
So I'm guessing these Gohtza soldiers probably must have been under that tunnel already in anticipation of...
Yeah, like we mentioned, the king has left with those instructions.
Which, you know what, fair on him for thinking ahead. But then, kind of being at the heart of the city, this helps out in their favor.
I mean, yeah, you can see. I do like the touch that you can actually see, gameplay-wise, Uhran soldiers attacking Gohtza soldiers, because we're literally putting ourselves in the middle of the fight, and we even get to see them actually hurting each other in gameplay. That's pretty cool.
Ow!
All of you?
Assume that the armor is protecting him from outright dying.
Fucking guard.
I said all of you die, not all but 2 of you.
Yeah, that
Fine.
mechanic seems to be a little too random.
No, it's not random. It's just again, it's the typical thing in RPGs. Remember, we also commented upon this in our recent Refrain Chord commentary, where the enemies sometimes have a random chance of guarding your attacks just cause.
Well,
Fair enough.
yeah. Well, I remember sometimes,
Gohtza?
like I mentioned also for this game, some enemies specifically may assume a state where they can completely be immune to magic or completely immune to physical. It's not really this case, but some enemies do that.
This cutscene's funny.
I don't know what to do. They came from nowhere. Get me out of here. Somebody help. How do we get out of here?
Seth!
Oh, that's sweet.
He puts on a tough face, but he crumbles before his mother.
This is my boy.
Oh, sure, there are soldiers slaughtering each other around, but I guess we can have the comedic music now.
Isn't he the king of Uhra?
I'll tell you later. Long story. We're out of here. Come on.
Come on, son, let's go.
Move it.
Follow me. We will escape
Move it,
from the
right.
city.
Move it, my mother said so.
That's very good, because I'm gonna have you play Seth as well.
Oh, great. So now I'm good to mommy.
Seth's played by my...
Sorry, can you repeat that, Wibs?
He's played by Michael Bell.
Oh,
Acolytes.
He was
Yes,
in a
what-
lot of stuff. He was Lawrence in Ratchet and Clank
Yeah.
041.
well, in general, for the entire of the series until recently, he has retired because of old age.
He was also the Fear in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Nice.
He was in Ninja Gaiden as Moramasa.
Basically,
he was Sergeant Pavlov in Call of Duty.
basically a gaming VA legend. Meanwhile,
Back at the Legion of Doom.
Know that you have brought catastrophe upon yourselves.
Activate.
I mean, what more can happen? You already froze the city.
Oh, he
What?
was the dad of Douglas the Brain in Lloyd in Space. That's
Is he Is he about to destroy his own kingdom just to get rid of them?
well, let's see.
Let's see what happens this time. Remember, magic lottery, so let's see what Grandsta pulls this time. Oh great, a summon.
A giant monster. Well, there you go, Liz. We have a kaiju as well in here as well.
It looks like a monster that wouldn't look too out of place in Final Fantasy 13.
Actually,
or
it reminds
16.
it reminds me more instead of Balmut Sea from Advent Children.
A lot of things tied in with my real life at the minute. I'm watching a kaiju series, and now I've got kaiju here.
So, Gangora, this beast can tell which is friend or foe, right?
Jova, what do you think?
Speaking
at this
of,
rate,
sorry.
you may not even have a kingdom left to rule.
I mean, he's immortal. He can wait for a new one to arrive.
Yeah, he literally has all the time in the world, literally. But the sad thing is about, since you're now getting into kaiju and Godzilla in general, right? There's a Super Nintendo Godzilla game where, I'm not kidding you, Godzilla gets hurt by breaking buildings, which makes no sense. Godzilla breaks buildings all the time. That's what he does.
It'd be like Hulk getting hurt by smashing stuff.
Exactly.
And the 1998 version was somehow worse than that.
Cooke and Mack are about to actually not having a good time. Again, sure, Libs' prediction might come to pass, but this is the best chance that they had, like we said.
I don't know if you ever saw it, but I do recommend you check out the AVGN Godzilla episode. It's really good, and now that you're into the series, you'll enjoy it even more.
I'm curious, how long are we going to run off the idea that, Kaim and Sarah may be dead?
As you can see, Dwebs, Sarah did make the right choice. They were able to make it out alive. I mean, they're not doing great. They're not doing great, but this is better than dying immediately.
Funnily enough,
At least she gave him a chance of survival. At least, go on.
Funnily enough, I can't help but kind of raise my eyebrows at the game suddenly having Kaim go, I'm not sure.
Go on.
I'm not sure if I'm an immortal. Like, they're trying to raise the idea that they may die, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's just not the same Kaim that we saw pretty much survive the equivalent of a nuclear explosion blast.
Mac, just... Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear.
Yeah, to be fair, it makes sense that her voice getting drawn out because, snowstorm. It actually does make sense.
5 more minutes, Mom.
To keep moving. Yeah.
Just think happy, warm thoughts.
It's cold.
But it's cold outside.
But that's cool. Cooke is gonna carry him.
I'm pretty sure a week ago they were not expecting their lives to actually go through this direction.
Nope.
Well, after Lirum died, I mean, going with Kaim was the only viable option.
No, I get it.
Like, hasn't it just been a week since they left their hometown?
Well, okay, again, in true RPG fashion, Java, we don't really know how in universe how much time it passes, but it cannot have been that much.
Not to mention, as they themselves said at the end of this too, they also want to avenge their mother, from what Gongora did to her. So they also have a personal stake in this quest anyway. So.
Of course.
Gongora is a poopy head.
But yeah, no, like I said, I do like this game overall. I can't deny, though, when it does do some weird tropey BS, it does get my head tilted. Like, we already talked about, obviously, how convoluted it was to get the game split up in the first place, but I'm sorry, really, they're expecting players to be worried that Kaim and Sarah might be dead. Kaim, the main protagonist of the game, and again, the guy who survived an arguably much worse explosion at the start of the game. A train crash.
Well, Jova, I propose you maybe put a pin on that because Ming is going to explain something about Immortals that we haven't explained yet. That does try to give make more sense of that. So maybe wait a bit till you hear Ming's explanation. Go on.
Also, Jova, I don't know about you, but again, before I knew more about the game, my personal interpretation for this moment was that Kaim and Sarah had been instead frozen which, immortal or not, it's basically the equivalent of being trapped.
That is a good
Remember,
point.
there was not an explosion. They actually just ran into the giant block of ice.
Like I said, we're actually going to have some information about how immortals work from Ming later. That actually does shine a light on that. So I propose you maybe put a pin on that, and then we can maybe talk about it more when we get to it. If you don't, what you think of the explanation?
Sure.
Also,
I
Mac,
do like that
stop
little.
slapping your face.
Yeah,
He's probably. I assume he's doing that to stay awake. I don't recall
and warm,
that in
and
any of the.
well, it's part of his normal battle
Yeah.
animation.
It's there to basically focus, get
Yeah,
into it.
yeah, the focus thing. Yeah, this is a monk, and monks are all about the thing, right?
But yeah, this is also, technically speaking, on a gameplay, as it was noted by the reviews that I've seen, this is actually one of the more difficult moments of the games if you haven't bothered to, be diligent enough to level all your party members, because now you're basically stuck in a section with a specific combination of party members that might bite you in the ass, particularly for your defense gauge that you see on the top right.
Just not that neither of them are immortal.
Remember, that's for stories. I mean gameplay. If your defense gauge crumbles, the enemies might as well just insta-kill you.
Well, I'm talking about the gameplay thing as well. As we've established, non-immortal characters don't have as good attack and defense stats as immortal characters.
I will argue too that the level of difficulty in this section is fine. Like you can still. I mean, I didn't exactly go out of my way to grind the hell out of these two, and I'm still doing fine, honestly.
I'm guessing so long as you make sure to heal after every battle.
You're also having, if I recall correctly, endgame weapons, well, so
True.
Does that too.
That is true.
That probably does help too. Speaking of which, what are endgame weapons for the likes of Mack, who's more of a physical fighter?
I don't remember actually how you obtain this one. It might have
It's
been
usually
connected to the-
you can basically assume that it's usually in optional dungeons, and
if I recall
and
correctly-
as well as the royal seals, of course.
Okay, maybe you get it from the side quest that involves the mascot creatures, the guys that look like mushrooms. Maybe it's from that. I forgot.
Like I was asking, what sort of weapons does he get? Like brass
Oh,
knuckles or
discs.
something?
This disc thing that he can throw, basically.
Huh.
Well, at least it's something that's more. At least the way it works in this game, character design-wise, it's more tangible than Renoa's crossbow thing, at least.
Well, but it's so cool to see her launch her dog off of it.
It's kind of cool, I guess, but it's also laughably silly in what's supposed to be a serious, tragic human story.
I mean, to be fair,
Outside of the silliness, it's more of a case of being weirdly out of place. I get the idea they wanted to find a way to modernize the traditional throwing weapon like the chakram that, for example, Yuffie had, So the idea of having a wrist-mounted, launcher for a throwing weapon probably was their best, guess. The problem is that it kind of clashes with the rest of the setting,
Yeah.
Even the more silly stuff like the nunchucks that Selfie has still feels more plausible in universe, but Renoa just feels like she has the most outlandish weapon out of all of them. Mind you, it's one of the reasons why I actually, don't mind that, because, like I said, 8 in general tends to bore me to death with its over-reliance, more of real-life rules. So something like Renoa's weapon actually breaks the mold.
I want to be fair also. Final Fantasy, while it can be tragic-based, when it's, for the most part, never shies away from the comedic aspects, too.
Oh, sure.
Renoa having something wacky like a dog launching crossbow.
Oh, that is true,
I am
Jova. Sorry.
fine with.
Oh, sure. No, if you're just talking about the dog as comedy, I guess yes. I just wish certain other comedy things were not,
Oh, those are story related.
Yeah. Cutscene.
I'll wait until this.
Because now we're gonna cut to somebody else.
Huh.
Don't worry. It will tie in.
I get it about the snowstorm, but it was actually one of the things that I was mentioning about, this feels way too tedious.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I feel like we could have just established, hey, they're struggling through a snowstorm.
They
with
wanted
just
to
a
insert
cutscene.
a section which you can have a random battle so you can actually grind for them, basically.
Which I guess is fair enough.
So you might, so you might,
The song number.
yes, this is meant to be this song also plays in the credits. It's meant to be the vocal song. And yeah, let's catch up on what happened to Ming and Jensen.
Oh no. 2 potential lovers by a campfire.
Well,
I sure hope nothing
To quote,
scandalous
to quote
occurs.
the movie The Great Race, what is the best way to warm each other in a very cold environment,
So yeah,
it's a ballad. Like this was 2000, end of the 2000s. It was a bit too late to have another ballad.
remember too, Sakaguchi is just doing the same thing he did back in the day.
I'll be fair, the power ballad thing is a relatively timeless thing.
I agree.
That being said,
I'm a sucker for power ballads. I love them.
like, I'll say this is a good reason they lasted from the 90s into the 2000s, but I will say this though. Does this mean we're gonna get a love scene? Because that's usually what I expect from this sort of stuff in anime when you get to that. Which, to be fair, they've kind of telegraphed Jensen and Ming potentially being...
Again, the start was a bit rocky, but at the bit... Sorry, Lisa?
This track in the... I'm imagining this track in the room.
Good lord.
What a story, Ming.
I don't know. I like the song, but it's.
If anything,
And I love this. And I love this. Jensen is actually singing as well.
I guess he really is alone.
Now this begs the question too. Was this in the script, or did the actor decide to do that?
I do wonder if the original script, the original idea in mind was that he was just whistling. Maybe he was whistling, but when he came to improvising, he's just fuck it. I'm waxing lyrically.
At least I thought I was dreaming. Were you really singing?
No, yeah, it's not something I do in front of people normally.
You're now picturing SA1 Knuckles singing.
What happened to your eyes?
My eyes?
The color's different. What's going on?
And that's flashback a bit.
Dream.
You mean your memories?
Yes. Somehow, protecting you and releasing all that magic energy, it might have released the seal upon my memories as well.
And that changed your eye color.
And there you go.
This also means we're gonna get, I forgot, like 1 or 2 also dreams about her too.
One specifically. Like what? But the one dream we do get there is very, very long, though.
Oh, so she put the seal on herself.
We're actually going to explain how and why eventually. Don't worry, we'll get to that.
What's wrong? Are you upset about something that happened?
Huh?
Kaim really hated his memories. He said they were nothing but painful.
Yep, and we saw we know we saw all of that.
I think it's
I wouldn't
my
say
duty
all his
to
memories
regain
were
these
nothing but
memories.
pain.
Okay, most of them were though.
Duty? What do you mean?
Kaim likely had much more involvement
That is true.
with other people than I. He has seen much more of life and death. The weight of 1,000 years can indeed be painful. But I want to look back carefully at all of those years.
And finally decide which
1,000 years.
accent I truly was
Yeah,
meant
she's
to have.
she's clearly trying to do a British accent with this.
No. It's not even that. I can literally clock it. 1 minute American, next minute
You are incredible.
Mid-Atlantic, third British
1,000 years,
accent.
simply incredible.
Maybe it's meant to be a mix. Maybe I don't know.
Or maybe she was badly directed. It's very possible.
Yeah,
No, don't you see the accent
Have a
changing? Is
ration.
that's weird.
Don't you see
That's
the
actually
accent changing is actually a metaphor for her change as she
Keep your strength up.
relives her life as an immortal.
that's a weird anomaly though, because the voice direction in this game is pretty great overall. So I have to wonder, why is she an anomaly?
Exhausted. You had to use a
Like,
lot
you know,
of
it'd be
magic
one
energy
thing
to
if
protect me.
it'd be one thing if maybe it was something that showed up at the
That's
start, like, you know, maybe as a hiccup, but
finally know who
got
I
better
am.
with, I assume, more sessions. Like,
Thanks to you.
either she did all her lines
Yeah,
in
I
one
do what I have to
session,
do
or
there,
like
just kinda
that
sit there
was,
and
I guess, what the voice director wanted.
Yeah, that's really embarrassing, actually. Oh man, I don't want to remember that.
Also, look at that low-res texture on that wall.
I also noticed that their cape was clipping through it previously.
On the guitar. Does Umatsu play the guitar?
He's had plenty of tracks with the
Oh
guitar.
god, I
here and there.
forgot because you know he did form this band like you said, the Black Mage.
Oh, you
I
mean?
don't remember.
Oh, you
what
mean?
role
Oh,
he
you?
had.
Oh, you mean actually playing the guitar? He mostly plays piano.
But has he ever done guitar? Oh, right, this is still going
Not
on.
not that I've seen.
I mean, the Beast kind of went unchallenged, Drova, so yeah.
Apparently he made multiple beasts. Which,
And there you go.
yeah.
There you go. Here, hold on. Here's the flashback, Jova. So now she's dreaming about her past with Gongora.
Your Majesty.
Oh.
All you do.
Oh, this is the past.
She's dreaming about it.
Subjects shall now become fodder for Arthrosaurus.
Interesting that her dreams aren't text-based as well.
Well, she will have one. It's just that this one is particularly super plot important, so they decided to give budget prioritization to this one in particular.
Now he sounds
fair.
like now he sounds like Colonel Campbell if he went insane.
You mean Gongora?
Yeah,
Stop this, Your Majesty.
it's not Paul Isaac. I don't know.
No Amara.
Why have you done this? Do you have no compassion at all?
I mean,
Realize, of course, that while you stand here, even more of your people have been slaughtered.
Gongora, you monster!
what took you so long, idiot?
Yeah.
But do you have time to hesitate, Your Majesty?
Although, interestingly, he's wearing the same outfit back then as he was in the present when he got
Budget.
coronated. Like, why not just put him in, like, his regular outfit instead?
Well, actually, okay, I can't spoil it, but when we get to the end of the game, there is a good enough reason to believe that this is the outfit that he had when he first came into this world, actually.
Fair enough.
Again, I can't specify why specifically because it involves in-game stuff.
Or to throw
Alright, we'll just wait and see.
the end result is the same.
What are you talking about?
You will seal off your memories.
What?
Oh?
Your magic energy is very powerful. Use it to hypnotize yourself.
And there you go. This is why her powers were locked up. This, once again, just like how he made the other immortals lose their memories so he wouldn't have opponents, same thing with Ming. So yeah,
He literally named it.
Yep, go on.
He literally named it Arthosaurus.
Yep. We're actually going to fight those things later.
I figure.
So yeah, either lock up your memories and powers, or I'll kill more of your citizens, basically. And there you go. This is why Jensen was saying that her eye color changed. There you go.
I think I get why, because I assume since she's such a powerful mage immortal, she was one who would probably be able to resist him doing a spell on hers.
It's becoming abundantly clear what's Gongora's plan. The other immortals didn't take kindly to his, megalomaniacal world-conquering quest, so he decided to individually pick each of them and give them amnesia, so they wouldn't stand
There's
against
also
them.
something else technically. I don't remember if it's told before his final boss, the final boss fight, or the actual diary about that he wrote that you find this mention. But
I'm going to have Dwebs read.
Jesus.
guys, just to be sure,
Yeah.
But in the extras part where we're going to watch the DLC Dreams, I'm also going to have Dwebs play Gongora by reading his diary. So
Of course. So I
Dear
wonder.
diary, my first plan to be the most evil man in the universe has begun.
I wonder, Was she always queen, or did he install her as ruler with that?
Well,
Well,
no, she was. Remember,
Okay.
his dialogue to her was mentioning about her subjects.
well, okay.
I know,
Well, to Jova's
I know,
credit, Teo,
but
remember, we learned that the Immortals come from a different world, so obviously she wasn't always the queen of Numara. The game, if I remember correctly, the game never explains it properly, but I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that at some point she rose to queen by some manner.
it would be interesting if she had similar ambitions to Gongora. The difference is that she actually wanted to use hers for good and, not being a dick.
Obviously. Well, don't trust me, Jova. When we get to her proper thousand-year dream, that's meant to be like Ming's big backstory dream that showcases like the kind of queen she has, why she's so beloved by her subjects, all that good stuff. So we'll get there. For now,
Yeah, like, the reason I wondered if she was queen from the get-go in that scene, and I was like, sure, he addressed them as her people, but part of me wondered if it was just like a people that she's looking over from afar or whatnot, and then Gongora eventually installed her as queen as, again, part of his plan, since from what we've seen, Ming was a relatively very passive queen by the time we found her.
that is true, Jova, but I will argue it probably has to do with one, Gongora locking up most of her memories. Second, Kakana's basically, doing all that stuff behind the scenes without telling her anything.
Part of me does wonder if, her passive nature was due to the mind wiping, and again, that may have been Gongora just setting up the pieces on the board.
All right, so now we're going back into the city of Gohtza, and as you can so we're going to also try to escape and try to go back, and maybe find a certain duo along the way.
So this is what remains of Gohtza.
Yep,
Not very pretty.
not very pretty now.
I don't even see any corpses. Well, I guess technically not corpses since the people were just frozen.
You would think that it would be, statues, but there you go. Some people still survived in some capacity.
Ah, amazing.
Like what?
Although they probably don't feel so lucky.
Magic train following Cooke and Mack, right?
Yes, they were eastbound, I think.
So it's up to us to get the gang back together.
Indeed.
Because we're lost Odyssey heroes.
Yes, we
Now
are.
let's reunite the band.
Indeed. We'll actually get that thing with Ming that I teased for Jova in the next part, specifically the whole, new fact about the Immortals thing. So I look forward to that.
So did they ever explain how some of these people survived a blast that, by all accounts, was meant to wipe them clean?
Well, they don't specifically say it. There are ways that I can believe it, where maybe these particular people that we see were not in the city at the time for whatever reason. I guess it's also for the purpose of the gameplay, where they still want to have the shopkeeper so that the player can shop and go to the inn.
I guess if anything, I would have said that, maybe some of Gohtza's loyal sorcerers were able to cast a bit of protection over some.
Oh well.
Oh well. Alright, tune in for the next part, everybody, where we have a reunion between 4 characters that already should be obvious, as well as finally properly start the dungeon in the sewers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's